today we're going to be talking about HPA. HPA Nerf is super awesome. It's super popular in the UK or overseas because they have private fields they play on, but in the US, HPA is less common, partially because the components for the HPA builds were made by Spectre. Spectre has done HPA cores and got them manufactured for many years now. Ourselves, Frontline Foam, have been doing HPA since back in the day, but since the cores are hard to get, a lot of people try to make their own or 3D print theirs, and you can do it. There's just a lot of work that goes into getting the materials to make an HPA build. And so a huge bottleneck of HPA has been the availability of the components. However, we're excited that we're going to be able to get more HPA cores to make HPA builds. And the HPA is fun and it is high powered. You are now able to build your HPA blaster. You can then have various different builds. You can even design your own around that core, and you have an all-in-one system that all you need is then some air fittings, and then you can build a high FPS, high rate of fire blaster. And these are solid metal, ready to go, a turnkey system that you can turn any blaster into a semi-auto or full auto with some electronics, high FPS blaster. You may ask, why? What is HPA? It stands for high pressure air, which means your blaster is powered by air. Instead of by flywheels or springs that you compress, the compressed air then propels the darts. HPA is really cool because that allows you to do high power up to 300 FPS or higher and have a high rate of fire. Most builds are semi-auto, but I'm using a simple air tank. You could get something that's bolt action or pump action, but semi-auto is what you can do with the cores. HPA is a really easy way to get high FPS with a semi-auto rate of fire and some electric builds. You can even use relays to get full auto. The HPA is high FPS, air powered. Once you get the core, you can build any blaster and then you can swap the core between them. And if you're going for high FPS, HPA is the way to go for the quick cycling. You plug in your line into your blaster, you set your regulator to a pressure, then you install the air component hoses together, and then you activate your air, and you're ready to go. Then you put this on your back or your pouch or whatever you have, or if your blaster has one, you can put it on a built-in on the blaster. That's the other good thing about HPA is with just increasing or decreasing your pressure, which almost everything has a built-in option to do that already, you can increase or decrease your FPS. You can dial this down all the way down to like 150 FPS or all the way up to 300 without having to change your setup. So it's even easier than a Springer or a flywheeler, generally speaking. And then you've got your very satisfying sound. You can see the benefit of 300 FPS, and depending on the AEB, it's even faster than a normal AEB. A full auto enough for you? I went to Foam Fest UK, high FPS. They dominate the field. It's very scary how effective those are using HPA. You're talking like 300 plus FPS performance. Put a beat car on this, you can do a long barrel length. It's a lot more lightweight. Even with the tank, you can get a carbon fiber tank. Yeah, it costs another 150 bucks. But altogether, this is still lighter than like, Sweetheart Storm or those other builds. And so you've got your high FPS performance, your high rate of fire, and then you can dial in for high accuracy. If you're going high powered, you're probably going to be playing in a place, or should be playing in a place that you've already verified that you are okay to play in. At our local park I was using HPA. We had a police officer come by and see what we were doing, and he saw we were shooting Nerf darts, and he said, oh no, that's fine. There are some places, such as maybe New York City or some places in California, where they do have more of a darker gray area in, is it legal to use? And if you're in a place that doesn't allow it, that's too bad. But I know Australia, UK, here in Utah, every place I've been to other than one place in California has been okay with it. So be smart, be responsible. If you aren't sure about HPA or want to learn more about it, we have lots of resources on our site. Like we said, in years past, we've done HPA. So we have some content out there that you can look up, and hopefully this video gives you an overview.